ostracize them. Other aspect is, when we find that a politician or a bureaucrat is doing something wrong, elected politician, do we ever go to him and ask him? What is the interaction we have with our corporators, with our MLAs, with our MPs? We keep saying they are doing bad things. Did we ever confront them in the 5 years between, until they come to ask for the votes next time? Is it not our responsibility to do that?
True.
We're just asking questions. Yeah. We're just criticizing, sitting in our homes. We are not making them accountable. You see, I'll tell you what happens. We are a very small group. We are only 40 houses where I live. But I make the corporator responsible, answerable to me. And I do the same thing to a smaller extent with MLA, but our MP is beyond our capability, and I haven't been able to get enough people to confront him. But I'll do it sometime. We all need to do it.
I just want to add to this. I absolutely agree with you, Jyoti ma'am, because I think we need to be rooted in our basics. Like Gandhiji had said, there's enough in this world for everybody's need, but there's not enough for everybody's greed. The population today is close to 7 billion, and I remember Mr. Rao saying, and there is an entire community which is involved in doing a lot of research, because the moment we touch 9 billion, there's going to be anarchy in this world, because there's going to be no food for people, including for you and me who are sitting here, not just for the 85% who are dying of hunger today in India. Yeah. So there are 1 billion hungry across the world, most of which are in India, but it's going to be absolute anarchy because even the great Indian middle class won't have food, because the companies like Monsanto tweak policy to kind of curb indigenous food from being grown. So there is a huge conspiracy happening out there which needs to be addressed, and the citizen has a role. Having said that, what is government? Government is we the people. They're only elected leaders. They're not our rulers, but we forget that. We think they're rulers. We are not a surrogate monarchy. We're a democracy. Democracy means people power. So why is it that the land and the country is passed on from father to son to daughter to grandson? Pray, what has Rahul Gandhi done to deserve even a Secretary General post in that party? What has he done? But we allow it. Everybody, oh, Rahul, cute fellow, well-spoken, articulate. I think corruption is ingrained there. What have people like Umar Abdullah done to deserve the chief minister's seat? What have people like anybody done? I mean, is this country a proprietary organization or what? I mean, we don't question that, but the citizen is responsible to question it. The citizen is the most powerful office in a democracy. We forget that. We forget that. You're speaking about going to the party? We love villains in this world. We don't love heroes. People had big receptions for Mr. Lalit Modi after he was thrown out. Vijay Mallya had a big reception for him. He was defending him. Right? Today, what is the other people involved in scams? Sahara, a company which is looting poor people, which is into money laundering. Look at all the cricketers and film stars who go behind them like dogs going after a bone, including the so-called living legends like Amitabh Bachchan and Sachin Tendulkar. Corruption is ingrained. We love corruption. The citizen is the most corrupt. I had gone to the Ministry of External Affairs because my brother's planning to move to Switzerland from Dubai, so he had to get some papers endorsed. In that entire line, I saw people standing with papers which are going to Harvard or London Business School. The students were not there in the line. There were touts standing over there. And outside there are big boards that no touts allowed. Inside there is a board which says that only one person can come to the counter. I mean, a person can come to the counter only once to get a paper endorsed. And the touts were doing the parade over there. There were people going at least 5-6 times. So I questioned it. The officer had the audacity to come out and ask me, he said, do you see anybody like you standing in the line? I was like, what? And rightly so, there was nobody like me standing in the line. I was the only idiot standing in the line from 8 o'clock in the morning. Because we'll stand in line for a McDonald's burger, and this is my classic example in India. There were 3-kilometer long lines when McDonald's first opened in Bandra and Bombay. But we won't stand in line for a passport or a driving license. So corruption is ingrained again. So I think it's a systemic change individually, because that will become the change overall.
Roads, stadiums named after that family. Try to name any road in this country or any other's name, you will not succeed.
Yeah, I am Deepika, and I'm a software engineer and a playback singer from Bangalore. It's really nice to be here and discuss ideas. But as an engineer, what I feel today, as a youth, which I represent the whole country, the biggest challenge that I see is not in the field of IT, which is information technology, but in the moral values in the society. It's very important for each of us to have the moral values within us. Then we can go and attain peace. And I feel like I come across a lot of people, a lot of celebrities in Bangalore, MLAs. I perform in front of a lot of big people. And I really see the difference, when I interact with them, when I talk to them, I feel there's so much of lack of moral values. They do not respect people. They do not know, how to deal with people. They are not kind enough to really go and talk to people and be nice. So I, as an individual, as a musician, because as a musician, I come across a lot of people. So what I'm trying to do is, because I have found peace within myself, I'm trying to bring that to the people, show to the people that, look, I have got peace, and now I want to spread peace to the world. And that can happen only when you have enough moral values within yourself. It cannot happen that, today you might be an engineer, doctor, or a scientist, or a politician, but if you're not a human being, you have no values. You have no value of yourself. So it's very important for us to realize that how good we are as a person, and then we can represent ourselves in the world and show the world that, yes, if I can do this, if I can follow this, if I can follow the value systems, then I'm sure many of them will come and follow the path of the path that we see them to follow. So that's very important, and I feel we can change. And I, as a youth, I really, when I received the award yesterday, I really felt that it's my responsibility to go back and teach the kids that, yes, as a youngster, if I can bring the change, why not you? Join my hands, and together we can make a difference. Thank you.
I like to link up the question of governance and peace that Jerry raised, and the cosmic spirituality that Jyoti raised, and then see where we can move forward. Governance in indigenous communities, especially in the prehistoric communities, was very, very peaceful. And those communities who lived in harmony with nature had peace, and they didn't have to develop discourses of peace. Today we are confronted with peace as an issue. For them it is just a way of living. And when did peace start getting disrupted in terms of governance? With the arrival of patriarchy. And men have destroyed the world today. And for, how many thousands of years. So if we have to have a sustainable peace, why not transfer governance to the hands of women in the world? Good. Let us say for another 500 years, men stand out and let women take over. I think that will be a way forward for world peace.
Only those women should not be like Mayawati.
No, well, I would say this again, when it comes to power, there is no gender difference. Power is power. And if it suits men, they will have women over there on the top to ensure that the power remains in that family or in that setup. It's been proven fact that more wars, have been fought under women. We had Indira Gandhi, under whom we had, a war in 1971. Maggie Thatcher had a war. Srimao Bandaranaike had a war. So it doesn't, it's the question of right kind of persons. And that's the crucial issue, even when it comes to systemic failures. Why do we have these systemic failures? Like you rightly said, it's the individuals who are in the driving seat. If they are good, the system works. If they are bad, you have a crash, pilot error. So all the time, and we have the institutions actually, we have every single institution that is required in a democracy in India. We are not short of institutions that are necessary, civic institutions. The trouble is they're rotten to the core. They're headed by wrong people. That is what we have to use, again, the citizen power. When you have a highly tainted individual leading an important institution like the CAG or the Vigilance Commission or any one of these checks and balance bodies, we have to rise as citizens and oppose that virulently, because if you have fish rots at the head, if you have a top person who's corrupt,
absolutely.
that whole institution is gone.